Hello everyone, Courtney here. At times, we all feel uninspired. Uninspired to pitch, uninspired to come up with new ideas, uninspired to continue inventing. At times, we do really lose our way. And sometimes, it's good to push through. And other times, it's really not. Knowing yourself is really important during these times. And taking some radio silence really does help with that. But what if we don't know where to start? How do we gain back that desire and find things that inspire us? Welcome to episode number 33. Let's get into it.
Where inventing, passion, and hard work intersect. Welcome to the Serial Inventing Podcast. Bite-sized, perspective-altering episodes on serial inventing and beyond. From motivating key tips on product licensing to obstacle-busting conversations on transitioning to a full-time serial product developer. Buckle your seatbelt, because you're in for a ride. Warning, this podcast may motivate you to make wild decisions that will propel you forward in your inventing career and hijack more of your time for your passion. If you aren't ready to make it happen, then this podcast isn't for you.
Maybe you've hit rock bottom of the licensing pit, or lately, you've just been feeling uninspired or even distracted. Life gets busy. And as I have said many times in many episodes, we overbusy and overcommit ourselves far too often. Think, when was the last time you didn't feel busy or overwhelmed or overcommitted? We need to make sure our priorities are always in check. Go back to episode 9 to get back into that. I know a lot of you are needing it right now. Though all of my episodes you listen to on the Serial Inventing Podcast are about inventing, if you strip away the actual topic of inventing, these episodes pose much, much larger questions and discussions. Maybe you are unmotivated at your job. Maybe you are in a difficult situation in your life you are struggling through. Maybe you have lost the joy in various things you do. This is how I felt when I got my first contract that fell through for my keyboard desk. I worked hard for 1.5 years with over 50 no's and finally got a contract, and it fell through. I went from 100% to 0 really fast. But I knew once the dust had settled that my story wasn't over. I knew it wasn't over because I didn't want it to be. I didn't want it to end like that. I kept going. I pitched harder. And 6 months later, I got my first deal with 4 products inside and 81 no's under my belt. There will be times in our journey when we feel uninspired. And sometimes we really start to think, is inventing really for me? And you may find that the answer is no. And you may also find that there are other things in your life that are more important to you right now, and inventing needs to take a pause. And other times, you keep going back to inventing. It continues to pull you in. Yet, when it comes to doing certain things, you feel the pushback and you just feel uninspired. This last one is what I'm focusing on for this episode. Trust me, there are many times when I feel it too. Sometimes, time away from our perceived dreams can not only be cathartic, but very revealing. When we come back to it, do we want to come back to it? Or do we feel like it's a chore? Now, if you do take time away from inventing, you must know 2 very, very important things. If you go away from it, be aware that you may never come back. And the second is that it's best to separate from everything for a bit. Go on a trip. Or do something you did in your childhood that you loved and have forgotten about. Or try something new. Getting away from inventing to just replace it with more burdens in your life is not the way to step away from it. This is because it will be harder to get the insight you're looking for because your brain doesn't relax. You need to relax to make it work. So, what are things we can do to bring in that insight and feel inspired again? Watching an inspirational video can help, especially for quick bursts of inspo, but it can dwindle fast. And this is a very personal question, as there are many different reasons why you don't feel inspired. If it's because you feel overwhelmed and are overcommitted, then I would get some radio silence and go back to episode 20 on that. But if you just don't know, then I would start with one of these 5 things. I call it the magic 5. Number 1, self-care. Do something relaxing for yourself. Take a relaxing bath, a dip in a hot tub, or go to the spa and get a massage. Spend some time alone in a park with a good book or notebook and enjoy some quiet time. Meditate or take a nap. Number 2, doing something you love. Do something you know you enjoy. Extra brownie points if it's creative. Do you like to paint? Hike? Garden? Try a new restaurant? If you don't already have a list of things you enjoy doing, create one so you can always go back to it when you can't quite jog your memory. Number 3, doing something you used to love. This is an extra special one and probably my favorite, and it needs its own category. It can also be a bit hard to come up with this list, but it can really serve you well when you do. Did you like to play hopscotch when you were young? Play catch? Maybe bake chocolate chip cookies with your mom? Is there a way you can recreate that joy now and go back to a time where life felt simpler and easy? Number 4, doing something new that you want to try. This can be a fun one. It can be as simple as taking up a new skill, like watching a few videos on how to draw buildings, learning a new sport, taking classes on becoming a better speaker, learning a new program on the computer. The list goes on and on. In the show notes, I link to a list of 102 things you can try. And number 5, helping someone else. This one comes back to gratitude. And one easy way to do it is to pay it forward. Buy someone their drink at the coffee shop. Help a friend. Pick up trash. Spread kindness. Let karma give back to you tenfold. And feel useful in helping someone else. Gratitude is a very powerful energy that doesn't seem to be utilized enough. So if you are feeling rather uninspired, I have given you 7 options in this episode. Radio silence, watching an inspirational video, and the magic 5. Which one will be your first to try? Let me know by messaging me on LinkedIn. And even more extra brownie points if you make a list of all of the things you can do within the magic 5 so you can always come back to that list when feeling uninspired. Thanks for tuning in and taking a few bites with me today. And remember, serial inventors don't make excuses. They make it happen. See you soon!